Call it Park Bubba Sparks.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, booty.
Short. Hey, I don't know what to do.
Alright, so YouTube, this video is going to talk about as far as for how to avoid going too deep with the needle in the patient's arm. So say for instance, you done did the phlebotomy part of your day and you done stuck the patient or you done stuck the donor and you feel like you hit a nerve. This is what this video is going to kind of help you out with, on pretty much on how to guide the needle the right way. How do you know whether you hit a nerve? How do you know whether you went too deep? You know, those type of things. So with my experience of working at a plasma center, pretty much I'm a medical assistant now. I went to school for medical assistant, but I got hired on as a phlebotomist because I didn't pass my test at the time. So now I'm back in the medical assistant field. All right. So basically, when I was working at a plasma center, once they trained me to become a phlebotomist, you will know whether you hit the patient or you went too deep into the patient's arm, because at the end of the day, the flow will stop. So say for instance, the patient arm, you prepped it up, you put the tourniquet on, you done wiped it off with the gauze, and you did the circular motion with the iodine. Some people are allergic to iodine, so we got to use the chlorophyll, stuff like that. You done insert the needle in there, and then next thing you know, if you don't see that flash come straight through, that's how you know you went too deep. So that's why you got to kind of like pull back a little bit and you'll see that little flash come through. That's how you know you're pretty much good as far as for that. But don't get me wrong, it happens. Some people do kind of go too deep with the needle. So that's why you got to kind of do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take much. Just guide the needle and always make sure that the bevel is up. The bevel is the little part that's on the needle that has like a little hole on it. So if you are inserting the needle and you don't see that little hole at the top, that means you don't have it the right way. So you have to turn it the other way. So what you got to do is just basically just guide it in. And then when you do put the needle in, pull the skin back. That's how you need to do it. So I'm going to demonstrate to you guys as far as for how it should look. I keep my jacket on, y'all, because it'd be cold in here. I ain't even going to lie to you. All right. So let's pretend this is the needle. This pin right here. All right. This is the bevel part right here. So let's act like this is the bevel. Let's act like the whole part is in here. So say for instance, I'm about to draw blood on myself. My tourniquet is on. I done put my iodine on. Or say for instance, this is how you should really prep it. I'm gonna start off from the beginning. Okay, so pretend the tourniquet's on. I then go ahead and clean the site with the alcohol pad. And what you do is, instead of going like this, you need to basically start in the middle part. Go around, go around, go around. Now, trash that. All right. Then you're going to go ahead and grab your iodine. Make sure that's dried off. The iodine is going to be like that yellow type solution. Some people are allergic to it, so they'll use chlorophyll. You're going to then go ahead and start in the circle part. And as you start in the circle part, go ahead and work your way around. Noticing how I'm still going around in circles, not overlapping the circles that I did. All right. So you go all around with that. And you don't need to do it so big. So really, it should take up about this much. It should take about that much. Wait for that iodine to kind of dry a little bit. And what you're going to do is, you're going to go ahead and pull back. This is what a pull back is. Pull back. Like that. You see how my skin was like that? You pull back. And then you insert. That's how you do it. You don't want it being where you're just iodine and then you just go ahead and do that. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get the vein like that. And don't forget, your tourniquet is still on. So you want to make sure you're doing all this at a timely manner, because at the end of the day, you cannot keep that tourniquet no longer than 1 minute or 60 seconds, shall I say. So always just make sure that you pull that skin back. Pull it back like that. You pull it back, then you insert. Then you should get that flash. Instead, most people, what they're doing is they won't even pull back and just go ahead and just put that in there. And, then you wonder why the patient either has like a reaction whenever you put that needle in. It's because you're causing that. And I just feel like that flash helps you out. Once you see that flash of blood, that's how you know you're doing good. And then you go ahead and start connecting everything. And next thing you know, the blood just starts flowing around onto all through the tubes. And then just go ahead and start the process as far as for the plasma. So those can be tips to kind of help you out. How would you know if you hit a nerve? Like I said, if you don't see that flash, you went too deep into the skin. So that's why you got to make sure that you're doing it pretty right. You got to make sure that you're being consistent with it. At the end of the day, that flash is what's going to really do it. If you don't see that flash, sometimes that doesn't mean you always hit a nerve. Sometimes that means that the patient's blood flow isn't as good. That can also be a thing as well too. So that's why sometimes with doing phlebotomy being at a plasma center, I was always telling the people, like, Make sure you drink plenty of water. Gatorade is fine, but Gatorade has a lot of sodium in it. Drink water, drink water. Water makes your flow is really good. Water just makes sure everything is just perfect for you. Always drink water. That's the best advice that I can give someone. Is it a bad thing if you hit a nerve? I would say no, because when you start off, you are going to have patients where you kind of go past that one level, as long as you ain't hitting no artery or anything like major like that. But you have to learn off your mistakes. So, you know, those type of things, what I would think about is, dang, if I went deep on this person right here, let me make sure I not do it on the next person. So you just take those mistakes and just use it as for like something else that you have going on. That's one thing to just keep in mind. But if you guys have any questions or anything, don't forget to leave it down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a good one. Peace.